enjoys the movies, and you are listening to Without Your Head. And you better keep listening to Without Your Head, or you will not only be without your head, you will be without your soul, because I will tear it apart.
Welcome to the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal, and I'm joined by James DeMonaco, director of The Home, in theaters July 25th. It's very cool to have you here.
Thank you, Neil. Nice to be here, sir.
Yeah. And as someone who actually worked in a nursing home, and I was in a nursing home for physical rehab not that long ago, was there any inspiration to make a horror movie set in a nursing home?
Dude, a lot. Yeah, a lot of inspiration. I had a really weird, so did my co-writer. We had weird, and I don't want to demonize old nursing homes because I've been to good ones. I've been to great ones that treat the people wonderfully and they have a great atmosphere. But my early visit to a family member when I was about 8 or 9 was to a nursing home that was not pleasant to visit and didn't really take care of their residents very well, and it left an incredible lasting impression on me. And I took some imagery from that. I put it in the movie. The image of the man standing in the corner, like kind of talking to the wall, came out of that. So as an 8-year-old, 9-year-old boy, my first foray or visiting or seeing a nursing home was quite haunting. Since then, I've seen better ones. Obviously not. So, but yeah, that's how it started. And then there was a lot of stuff during COVID that was happening to the elder care facilities. And that's what we wrote this during COVID. That's what put it in Adam's head, my head, and that's what we started coming together on this idea.
Yeah, even when I worked there, a lot of bad things happened there. Also, when I was at the nursing home, like we were even told, like there's a certain section of there you don't really go to unless you're like a specific person there, because it's people that really are beyond like help.
Exactly. Yes, and we actually heard about that. We know a doctor in an ER who worked at a nurse. She started as a doctor at a residence, and she said there is, just like you said, Neil. She said, and that gave us the inspiration of the fourth floor, a place where he can't go to. She said there is almost like a beyond care part of the home, and we were just like, what is that? The mere thought of it was terrifying to us. So that became the fourth floor for the movie.
Yeah, and like Pete Davidson's character, I've heard screams from that area. So that I really dug the movie too, not just because you're here.
Oh, thank you, Dan. That means a lot. Honestly, thank you, man. Thank you.
So, what made Pete Davidson right for the lead as Max?
Yeah, great. So Pete and I grew up in the same neighborhood. He lives right down the street, kind of down here, and we knew each other. We knew each other before he was Pete Davidson, the celebrity, and I knew him as there's a local Italian, it's very Italian Irish, Italian American, Irish American working class where we grew up. A lot of Italian restaurants. So there was an Italian restaurant I hung out at. I had just made Purge 1, and Pete was a busboy. And
oh, well, that's awesome.
Yeah, he came over. He's like, "Hey, man, I like your movie." And we were both kind of like loners, outsiders, and I think loners attract themselves to each other. We both movie obsessed, and we kind of just started. Even though he was much younger than me, we started hanging out and talking. And he wanted to be in the business, but I knew him as a very soulful young man, not as the comic I think everyone, got to know when he became a celebrity. So I knew this really soulful young guy, and we just started talking for years, and always like, when are we going to work together? And then he hit it big, obviously, and busy on SNL. But during COVID, we were writing a movie together right before COVID hit, and then COVID hit, so we weren't writing in the same room, but we were keeping in touch. Then I was writing The Home with Adam, and Adam knew Pete too from the neighborhood. He's another Staten Island guy. Long story short, as we were writing it, it just hit us that, Pete experienced tragedy in his youth with his dad passing on 9/11. Max experienced tragedy in his youth in the movie, and they were both processed their grief through art in some way. Max is graffiti, Pete is acting and writing and comedy. So we like, there's a great parallel between these characters. We thought maybe Pete would relate to that, and maybe he'll want to play the straight man. And we gave him the script, and he just dove in. He's like, "Guys, I could be Max. I could do this." I had some skeptics on the money side. Can he do it? But as soon as they saw dailies, they were pretty jazzed up at what he was doing, and I think he did a great job.
Yeah, he's great in the movie, and it's cool to see him, doing something different.
Yeah, it's fun, right, man? And he just worked with some of these actors are like Tony Award-winning Broadway people, and just effortlessly working with them, which was pretty fun to see.
So, Brute Altman, his voice, I think it's so calming and trusting. Like, it makes him really great for the role. Was he someone who just like nailed that role, or did that role like change once you like cast him?
No, he just nailed it, dude. Yeah, it was one of these great. When you work with actors of that caliber, they do my job, which is great. They just like Bruce. I knew Bruce the specific role, I always wanted to work with Bruce because I remember seeing him do that. I remember that scene in Glen Ross with Jack Lemmon, where Jack Lemmon comes to his home and tries to sell him, some real estate. And it's one of the most awkward, in the best way, scenes I've ever watched in my life. I was crawling out of my skin because Bruce didn't want to buy, his character didn't want to buy real estate. And Lemon's trying, and it always stayed with me. So when we were casting the doc, I was like, oh, there's something. Bruce Altman just popped in my head, and I called Kathleen Chopin, a great casting director. She's like, oh, she loved Bruce too, and she put him in a lot of stuff. So Bruce was just perfect, great, and a great man, great to work with. He and Pete got along well, and yeah, that soothing voice, right? Is just the perfect kind of.
It's a great contrast between him and Pete. Yeah, that really works. And eyeball stuff is always squeamish, even for like horror fans like me. And so we see in the posters, not spoiling, there's some eyeball stuff. But something that actually I found very off-putting is the mask. The eyes are going to the side as opposed to forward. And I don't know why, but that's very off-putting to me.
Dude, thank you, man. We built that mask, dude. And it was weird. I was telling my daughter about masks the other day. She's young. She's becoming a horror fan. She's 13, 14. And I said, this mask is great. You're a master of horror, my friend. I said, it's great because we canted the eyes. So it's looking at me, right? It's like, this is great mask 10, but the eyes are looking over here, but it's coming.
Yeah.
And I found the same thing. I'm like, there's something incredibly haunting to just moving the eyes a little. And that's the fun of building masks, because it could be the smallest thing, because we built so many masks in the Purge movies that really try to design.
We want to do something different. Like we can't do more animal masks or something. Yeah.
And this was just a perfect kind of movement of eye, and it really changed things, right? It's
100%. Yeah. And so I looked up, and Dia is a real ancient goddess. And I always think, like, if you use like real mythology in something, it adds like a realism to the movie. And so was that like the thought process? And was that a goddess like you knew of?
No, I didn't know. We started talking about youth and longevity and all this stuff, and I don't want to give too much away. But like you said, I feel the same way. Like there should be always a little hint of, this should stem from something real. I always study cults and whatnot, and a lot of cults stem from real mythology or some real religious belief.
And it gives it a bigger feel, like this is a long thing that's been around for a long time. And
I always thought if we can re-enter, if we have any luck, the movie gods smile upon us. I always thought maybe entering into, how did this start? The Dia cult and whatnot, because it does have maybe a basis in some history and mythology. Maybe there's a place we can go to. So it's fun to, like you said, I think it's a fun thing for people to maybe they go home and type in. That's what I do after I see movies.
That's what I did. Yeah.
Right. You type in stuff like, oh, this is a real thing. How interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that, man.
So it's going to come out July 25th. I saw it's also playing at Fright Fest. It's wearing my Fright Fest hat. So real quick, what's the benefit of doing a festivals when you already have like a theatrical release?
Dude, it's a great question. I don't know. I'll be honest. I found out about the festivals just recently. I think because Fright Fest is opening. I think
it's opening after probably because
exactly. I think in England we're opening, in London and overseas we're opening afterwards. So, and I think we have a second festival in Spain I've heard about. So I think the movie must be being staggered in its release across the globe. But I let the adults figure all that out.
No. And so you kind of hinted there may be a sequel depending on how it does. So go see the movie.
Go see it, man. And if the cinema gods smile upon us, I'd be definitely up to writing it. Yeah.
Yeah. And everything's better in the theater, but especially horror movies, because you have interaction with the crowd.
Exactly. Horror is the best in theaters.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for doing this. I really love the movie, honestly.
Oh, thank you so much, man. That means a lot. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thanks, have a great day, brother. Take care.
Bye.
You saw how clean this place was coming in?
Yes, sir. Your job is to keep it that way.
And no fourth floor, darling. Those patients need special care. Off limits to you.
These are good people. They deserve comfort in their twilight years.
Here to get your garbage.
You know, you've got interesting eyes.
There's something very wrong with this place. Something terribly wrong.
gonna hurt you.
It's time to play by the rules.
What is going on?
Sometimes, when things are bad on the outside, we have to look on the inside.
Hi, this is Adrienne Barbeau. Just call me Billy. Everyone does. And you're listening to withoutyourhead.com.